This is Pastor Rick.
Good morning, everybody. At Prince of Peace, my name is Tim Crick. I'm one of the pastors on staff at Lutheran World Relief, and I'm just here to say thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't be here in person. I have had the pleasure of being there in the past a couple years ago, sitting with Pastor Rachel in her office, and then also joining part of staff meeting to express gratitude for the entire congregation, as you have continually chosen year after year to share your love and generosity with the most vulnerable people in the world through your partnership with LWR. I just want to let you know how much it is appreciated, the impact you are having when you choose to live out your faith with this partnership. I don't know about you, but I don't often like to turn on the news right now. And it has nothing to do with the political divisiveness that is going on. It simply has to do with every time you turn on the news, you feel like you see devastation occurring again in one form or another. Right now, we are hearing about those fires in California. Before that, we had hurricanes in North Carolina and Florida. We had earthquakes in Turkey. We have war continually going on. It seems like it's never ending. And that is not even counting the places that we don't even know about. But it just seems like when we turn on the news, it just is breaking our hearts over and over again. And so sometimes I wish I didn't know. Sometimes I wish I could be ignorant to it all. In fact, we all know the phrase, ignorance is bliss, right? I remember I said that to a friend once, actually more of a mentor. He said, ignorance is bliss. And he said, you know what, Timmy, right? Ignorance is bliss. But always remember this. It is not good. And as Christians, we are not called to be ignorant people, right? As followers of Jesus, we are called to live with our eyes wide open, to see the hurt, the pain, the suffering in the world, to allow it to break our hearts, and then be bold enough to believe, to dare to believe that we might be able to do something about it, right? What does the ELCA say? God's work, our hands. And so while ignorance might be easier, it is not good, because ignorance comes at a cost, doesn't it? And it's not a cost that I pay. My ignorance is paid by the people who are already suffering, because I choose to do nothing about it. Their suffering continues. And I thank you for not being ignorant people, for allowing your hearts to be broken and then choosing to do something about it when you partner with Lutheran World Relief. There are so many stories that I could share, but videos do that a much better job than what I could do. So enjoy those videos, whether it's our 80th anniversary or there's lots of specific projects that are happening that you are enabling to happen. But most of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for giving, and then to ask you to keep on giving. It makes a difference, and it was so much appreciated.
I'm going to shut these people off. So the next thing we're going to see is the 80th anniversary video. Who knew that Lutheran World Relief was 80 years old? I did not. But maybe you'll recognize some of you will recognize some clothing styles for sure. In that video, I recognize. I think I had a couple of these things.
You referenced the ELCA, but this organization is all the Lutheran denominations, or is just
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That was one of the questions that I would have asked. I know a great piece of it comes from the ELCA. And I think just because of the massive amounts of things that we do, and we can talk about that after these wonderful videos. So, all right. Can you all see it, or do I have to dim the light?
Can you turn it up a little bit?
Oh, yeah. Can you do that?
I need TV.
80 years ago, our Lutheran forebears had a vision: to join together and be the body of Christ in the world, responding boldly to the needs of our neighbors in Europe after World War II. When they founded Lutheran World Relief in 1945, the outpouring of love was immense. Our grandparents got busy sewing quilts and organizing fundraising drives. Within just 14 years, American Lutherans had provided more than $100 million worth of aid. We were just getting started. From our parents, we learned to see Jesus in the eyes of a stranger. We learned to stitch and tie and bless our quilts and the people who receive them. We learned to heed the voice that calls us to love our neighbors as ourselves. With each passing year, God opened our hearts to the ever-growing needs in our hurting world. And so, over these 80 years of faithful service, our ministry together has grown. Today, together, we go where no one else goes, to the front lines of war and to places even cars can't reach. And we stay as long as we're needed, help families recover and rebuild. We can't predict where or when the next urgent need may arise, around the world or even in our own backyard. But we know we can always count on you to respond in love and create a brighter future for the next generation, nourishing the hungry, breaking the cycle of poverty, walking alongside families and communities so that everyone has a chance to thrive. Thank you for going farther, staying longer, and continuing the legacy of love that began 80 years ago until your love reaches every neighbor.
I have another, that's actually one of their new themes, until your love reaches every neighbor. I have another little bit longer one, and Alex, I don't know if you could put that on or not, but it's on my phone, and you could take a peek at this and see if you can get it on.
It's not on the desktop, so you have
This
to
one right
share
here,
it between.
Mother's Heroine Journey, South Sudan. So, I think you know that most of you know and have helped with so many of the projects that we do for Lutheran World Relief. God's Work, Our Hands Day is not part of Lutheran World Relief, but it seemed like a really good way to culminate everything and put it together and use your hands. And I think that's when I was thinking about what we were going to talk about today, I think that's the thing that I love the most about Lutheran World Relief. You don't have to give money. You can use your hands instead. I mean, I think that's chilling. That gives me the chills every time I think about that. Our last totals this last year, Lynn, I think were pretty high. We made 140 quilts. There's a couple of them right here. Everything from Thomas the Tank to something a little bit more sophisticated. And the only thing we purchase as a church is the batting for the inside. Everything else is donated. People drop off. If you notice, when you go into the sanctuary, you go out of the a problem.
Your email and password.
Then
Oh.
it just tells you to log in. See, oh. It doesn't do that there, it does that here.
Okay.
You wanna log in?
Okay.
I don't know the login. How am I supposed to log in? With
Oh,
your email?
What's the login? My password?
What you did to get into it.
I didn't do this. Mike did this.
It's on your phone.
Oh, that
Yeah.
password. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Every day I'm blessed. I've already made a mistake. I don't care. I really don't care. Oops, 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 oops. Is that all coming up there? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's how I delete. Okay, how do I delete? Okay, all right. There we go. Sure, would you, honey? BD Lee 2002. My password is, what's my, like my regular phone, 594. That's my number. Number. So, what was it, 5943? So, I think there's no organization like that we can really just do.
Why is it?
We don't even have to send these things.
their login details were incorrect. So. You can, yeah, I forgot password.
This is a great thing that you're gonna do.
Hope you don't have any. Oh, are you even signed in? Is there even an account on this? There's not an account on this. I already.
I got it from yesterday.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I just went to the link that she was on.
Why can't I just send this to you? Send this to here.
Well, you need to log in. It's locked behind this login. I went to there.
That's ridiculous.
I went to the website that was on
Okay,
there.
you did. Lutheran Relief, did you?
Yeah, it'd be pretty hard.
Maybe not, because this is one of
I'm
their.
just gonna try searching for the name.
Is this a Mother's? I think it was a Mother's.
There we go. It was on YouTube the whole time.
हमार नाम छे पवनीवती चौधरी बुनैत रहे छे गानो गाबै छे आ बुनैत रहे छे आ मतलब बैठले रहबे त हमरो के दुईटा हाथ से पहले हमरो के बेरोजगार रहिए त सागुनो लगाइले नहीं भेटै छले पैसा त हमरो के सबके गठन के लिए पिपरा महिला उद्यमी समूह तो मतलब रोजगारी करे के हमरो के सलाह कर लिए हमरो के मतलब रंग सूत्री कह के हमरो के लिए तालीम येले ओने सब कोई करे छे कोई बैठल नहीं रहे छे वो इनंग हमरे के संगे संगे सब चीज करे छे साथी छे हमरो के सब गठन करके पटेर काट के आना लिए सुखाई लिए तकरा सब कोई मिल के हमरो के व्यापारी आवे छे घरे से ले जाय छे गुंदरी और नहीं हटियो ले जाय छे आ पहले कमे दाम में बिके चले सर आय खानों में नहीं पुगे चले सर बच्चों के पढ़ाई नहीं पुगे चले की कहे छे जे बिरामियों में नहीं पुगे चले तो ऋण सापटी ले चलिए मने चले तखनो तो बेसी दाम में बेचे छिए बनाई लिए तो हम लोग बेसी पैसा दे छे ओहो से धिया पुता के पढ़ाई ले है तो बुझी पूरा सब पुग जाए छे घरो बना ले लिए आ नहीं तो वही झुपड़ी घर रहे हम लोग के यही करे छे सब पे कोई बचत राखे छे जकरा आवश्यकता पड़े छे इमरजेंसी पड़े छे ओकरे दे छे घूमती समूह में तैया नहीं बाजे सके छलिए लाज है चले न घोसरे छलिए नमस्कारो तलिक नहीं करे ले सके छलिए आखुन समूह में हम लोग के बैठलिए एकजुटी भेलिए त अखन सब सर सबके नमस्कार करे छिए बाजियो ले सके छिए में बहुत बात सिखलिए बहुत बुद्धि भेले बहुत ज्ञान भेले और हम लोग के चाहे छे और देते करते तो गांव घर के लोग के नीक हेतिए से कियो के मतलब और ऊपर माथे
So we're not in but I thought that was a really powerful woman. They walked 70 miles. She didn't give up to help her children and being a widow, a young widow, you know. So I think Lutheran Relief is probably something that's known all over the world. They have camps and what was your question? Yes. Yes, that's what I understand. And even the money that I think individuals pretty much send money from our church, but we send goods. And I think it's amazing that they can send this stuff. You know, I mean, the numbers were incredible, and I can share this. Well, this is a 23 account, but there were 551,700 quilts and kits in 14 countries. That's a half a million. That's just an incredible number. And numbers of different kinds of things. Almost 200,000 quilts were sent. And some of you know that they were even sent to Baltimore when the bridge was hit. Some of those sailors could not get off the boats because they didn't have visas in the United States. They just had a transitional kind of thing that they could not leave a boat. So they were on those boats for months. And one of the big quilt events, or one of the big quilt supply places, is in Baltimore. So that was interesting. And they were the ones who brought the quilts over to the people on the boats. They happened to all be men. But that was a really important thing for them because they were still on there for a longer period of time.
I have a girlfriend who was in Germany.
Yeah. Really? Well, quilts are something different, aren't they? They're almost always handmade. There is a connection with the people that make it to the people who get it, right? How many of you have a quilt at home that's maybe even special? Anybody have an old quilt at your house? Someone made somewhere along the line. You probably do, right? Libby goes, I think so. And they are a loving kind of thing. And they're used for so many things. And we've told you before what they're used for. They're not just for warmth, they're used for shelter. You will see them kind of hold up as a sunshade and shelter. And actually our quilts, they're used as a suitcase to carry things in. They're used as a burial shroud. And so there are, just many, many different ways that they are used. And again, there's that loving touch that I think probably the people get. We have to be very careful when we make the quilts. They are a specific size, they are a specific weight, and they have to be made a specific way. And that just has come in the last maybe 5 years. And it's simple and it's easy. For us to do 140 quilts with only about 3 people who really sew, it's kind of a miracle. But we have more sewers, and as you know, our oldest sewer is Annette Smith, 94. She is still bringing in quilt tops that she makes, and they all have the same dimensions. But she will make 4 pieces out of each one of these 11-inch squares. So hers are just intricate and delicate. So I'm hoping when they go up in the fall again on our pews in our church, at our chancel, that you'll take a good look at some of them. Have you enjoyed having them on the pews?
Are you saying that makes a square, like out of scratch, you can make a square
Yes.
out of 4 smaller squares?
Yes.
Right.
Sometimes, and I couldn't find one. Marty, she does. I've seen some recently that have had 4 in that little square.
16.
Yeah. And they're scraps. She didn't throw anything away, which is really the original idea of a quilt, right? To make it that personal. I belong to a group where we go to different kinds of sewing kinds of things. And we went to Michigan State a couple of years ago to a display of quilts. And they were all from enslaved people in the United States. So they were very old, from the 1800s, but it was a fascinating thing. Because they only used, again, just real scraps, even scraps of thread to make them. So, and as you know, a long time ago, they were all made by hand. Our hand piece is the tying, and Diane Helbin and Martha Irons and some of those girls. And Shirley, they tie and do an absolute beautiful job. None of them really sew with a machine, but they can tie. So we have cutters, people who cut the squares. We have people who put this together, who pin it. Jolene Pedersen, I think you all know her. She brings 4 of her friends. They all go out for lunch after, but they come and they quilt with us to get these done. So, and we also put them in kits. So that means that anybody can pick up all of the squares cut, labeled in the order that they're supposed to be sewn. You've done it, Kathy, right? Yeah. And you did learn this. I did. You did learn it. It's very simple. And so they're all in packages, and then they bring them back, and they're all put in just a book. Yes, like Kathy. This isn't yours, Kathy, but yours is already booked and it's gone. So, and then we pair them with whatever we have. Probably if you would like to contribute, one of the really wonderful things that we use are sheets. And they have to be cotton. A large percentage of them have to be cotton. This is about as dark as we get, maybe a little bit lighter than that, but we don't do white sheets because that would be really difficult for them to clean, you know, because these can be washed in a river or lake or whatever. But sheets are, make sure that they, if you happen to find one at a Goodwill or someplace, I find them for $4 at a Goodwill or a thrift shop, and not a fitted sheet. Because that all has to be taken, yeah. We will use that, but it just takes a little bit more time to do that. So I'll pass this around if you want to look at all the different areas that are supplied. So we did 141 quilts last year. That's our top that we've ever done. A lot. And again, you don't have to really know how to sew or anything to come and do those with us, or many of them are taken. The other thing that we do are school kits, backpacks and school kits. It's not really a backpack. What would you call this? It's like a shoe bag, right? Okay, great. But could you just stand up and demo? They all know how to put a backpack on pretty good. They're pretty cute. Look to the left in the prices. Thank you. Well done. Yeah, well done. But you know, this is not a real heavy fabric, but it's cute, isn't it? And we're given almost all of this, or you know, people drop it off. We don't even know where it comes from. What we purchased for this are the ties. And Tamara now is doing all of those ties. I'll pass this around so you can see the simplicity of that. Yes, and easy, right? These are all kits ready to go. Oh no, these are made. But here are some that are ready to go. So out on the table, you would find this made or cut already, and then the tab cut, and then there's an instruction sheet. I would say if you follow the instruction sheet to a T, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you know, it's just really easy, you will have no trouble. If you start doing your own thing, you're in trouble. Do this simple way. You know, that's something that someone else can do, but again, it's your time that we need. It's not in your hands rather than real money. And these are filled, of course, with really a lot of great things. They are school kits. They have 5 pencils, 5 pens, an eraser, crayons, ruler, pencil sharpener, scissors, and 4 notebooks. They all fit in here, and I'm going to have you guys making those, you know, in a week or so. So we did over 200 of these last year, 200 and maybe 10, a lot, and it's a lot of things. We have somebody in our church that she always brings pencils. I don't know if she can afford anything else, but that is so cool because we need 200 backpacks, with 5 pencils in each backpack. So, look for those. And of course, all of those supplies get really cheap at school time. Right now, they're not. So the other kit that we do is a health kit. I thought they were personal kits. They're actually health kits. And that's an inexpensive one to do because we have to have a towel. And this is like a bath towel, not a
Bath sheet.
not a sheet. No. We've had people bring sheets and have a sheet. It's just normal bath towel. And they don't want a really heavy, nice one. So don't think you're doing better because you buy one that costs $15. Or that is very thick. That isn't what they want. It's easier for them to dry these thinner ones. And, that's always better. And inside will be 2 bars of soap, a clipper, a comb, and a toothbrush. There's no toothpaste. They supply the toothpaste as they give up the kids. But as you can see, I mean, anybody can do this. Anybody can bring a pencil sharpener or a pencil, and it is truly our hands. They really don't want us to spend money so they can make them. They want them made already. Because again, it's the whole idea of our hands. God's work in our hands. So that's what we do at Prince of Peace. And let's see, we did 400 of these last year. We did 400 of the outfits last year. 200 of these and 141 quilts. So, and then on God's Work Day, that's a super day for everybody just to get a little engaged and help. Maybe you didn't make a kit, maybe you didn't bring a pencil, but you can help that day. So again, it's another way that we can engage and work with everybody else. It's my favorite organization. I just see all the time the kinds of things that they do because they are embedded in these countries. We've done a lot with the Ukraine in the last few years since they've been at war, and they have sites there with so and they can get in. It's interesting that they can get into these countries because they're an active, honest kind of organization that helps people in a lot of different ways. So, Lynn, did you want to say anything about this whole thing? She's pretty involved with it
I
too.
just think it's wonderful, and I think it gives an opportunity to help women help in some way.
Yeah.
And, you don't have to be a wizard to do any of this.
No.
It's just a matter of
No,
deciding to take the time.
yeah, taking the time and giving it a shot. That backpack was not hard to make. Vera, you've even made backpacks, haven't you? Yeah, they're easy, right? But these girls can sew, so, but even at that, it's a pretty easy thing to do. So, I hope that Live and Rural Relief is something that you will keep in mind and know that good things are coming from it. Unfortunately, our quilting times are during work times. So we meet Tuesdays, the first and third Tuesday of the month at 9:30 in the morning. We work for a couple hours and that's it. So, and some people like Marilyn Lund, and a few people that aren't as able to come, they just take things home. I will bring quilts like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, any day of the week, I bring a couple of quilts to be tied because I've already sewn around them, right? I can work here for a while and they've already disappeared. She is like a thief in the night. She comes in and she takes them. I don't know how she does that, but she does a great job. And of course, our quilt manager is Cheryl Sosinski, but she's in Costa Rica right now, so she could not. But she also is not a sewer, but she puts these together. She's really good at coordinating all this, coordinating us, keeping track, packing it up, just doing a really good job. So it's really fun to do all of that. Anything, yeah, Kath?
So if you're a quilter, He's done a YouTube video of Lutheran Road quilt.
What?
They took it into the warehouse.
What?
So it's probably a year or two old. So that's what video you can go and do Pat Sloan or maybe look. And she walks you all through what they do with the quilt.
Once we send them.
It's really kind of cool.
Oh, my goodness.
So I found that mistake.
Oh, there was a mistake. When you were trying to figure out how to make it, right?
No,
No, I know you do. I know.
but I will say, if you're doing the back, forward, you gotta put the needle.
Absolutely.
That was something, you know.
Right, right. This is about, and, you know, so this was, you know, people drop stuff off. Does anybody have fabric at home that's just sitting there and been sitting there for a while? I bet some people do. And you don't know what to do with it. This is probably, I can do some heavy stuff because I can go to leather on my machine, but, this is about, I'll pass that around so you can see the weight of that. Yes, the jean needle. This is a fabric called duck. Okay. But it's heavy and it's better for a quilt. This is kind of light. It is, and it really sewed very beautifully. This is the lightest we go. But anything lighter than this, if you have that fabric just laying around, or know somebody who does, can be put into a quilt. Not ours. We were spared. 500 yards. So far, we're spared so far.
So I'd like to say, first to acknowledge my ignorance. I have been wondering over the years, like, how many nail clippers does somebody need? Like, I kept thinking, I had the impression we send to the same town every year. And I'm
Oh,
like, I buy one nail clipper for a lifetime.
a lifetime, right?
Now I see disaster area.
Yes,
That's
yes,
just
yes.
some poverty
No,
places, you know, like yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But I also I put in a plug last week for a film called Human Flow, and I watched it again this week.
Yeah.
And that gives you a chance to see a whole bunch of different refugee situations and migration journeys, and you really can see how disposable their belongings are. Like,
yes.
they're gonna leave like that family
Yeah.
with nothing. And they
Walk
have to
70 miles.
and
Yeah.
rebuild, you know, their
Meager.
belongings.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna get moved again and leave stuff behind. And so these lifestyles,
Or survival.
yeah, and they're not building up, I mean, they always are rebuilding their inventory.
Yes,
And,
always.
and then, of course, there's one picture of mountains of, life
Don't make me
jackets.
cry.
No, of
Okay.
life jackets. And you think, why can't they use those again? They mean not the refugees, but the, relief organizations, but, yeah, they don't have anything. They're always leaving stuff behind.
Always transient and, yeah.
I mean, not always. Some people have lived generations in some of the camps, you know.
Yes, that's true. Like our last
A lot of people
migrant immigrants.
they don't have that. I looked for those backpacks in the video. But
Did you?
I didn't see anything here. I mostly saw like Pikachu and strawberry shortcake. And
Yeah. And they really don't want us to send those. I mean, what's important to them is this stuff,
the content.
because they're called school backpacks, and they have all of the refugees that we had last family, 8 children. They have transcripts, especially the high school kids. They have transcripts from their school in the tent city that they lived in. And Asande, the mother, had been in that tent city or a tent city since she was 12. And she was now 32 when she came. So she had been, exactly. You know, what do they have? What do they really have? You know, so sometimes I understand why they, you know, it's been a journey for us with our refugee families, and because you can understand why they like new things. We all like new things, but they do because they've never had them, you know, or when their Christmas list is really big, because they never had anything, you know, that is theirs. And yet they live communally in many ways. And this family is living very communally now with another family. And there are all these children. The children take care of the big children, take care of the little kids. And, you know, as soon as somebody's old enough to take care of a little kid, they're taking care of that little kid. I mean, it's how it works, you know. Yeah, I think you're right, Marty, and that's a very good point. And that's why, you know, for example, towels can't be really heavy ones. They pack this stuff up and they take it with them, and they use the quilts for so many things. And one time I said that sometimes it's used for a burial shroud or something like that, and somebody was really offended by that. And that what I was working with, who I was working with, and I said, that's a pretty important thing.
You mean the person who crafted?
Yeah, was a little offended that they used them as a burial shroud. Well,
Because that's
yeah, yeah, but that's important to us, isn't it? Burial is important to us, and funerals are important to us, and maybe that's all they had, you know, to use them in old age. So it's an honor, in other words, yeah. So I really think that this is. I wish Mr. Pastor Rick was here because he could answer a lot of questions for you. And I'm glad we had such a personal message from him. That was very nice. But he said he will come again sometime, but I don't know.
Where is he?
He's in Chicago, I believe. And he is the senior advisor of congregational engagement. So
That's his job to come here.
that is his job to come here. So I appreciated that. In fact, he left me this when he came. You know, my message is just to continue to pray for Lutheran World Relief. They really don't receive a lot of money from anything else. So
I know this isn't your forte, but in case you do know, they talked about those camps, the LWR camps, not the refugee camps. Are those volunteer or paid staff? Do you know of ways people, let's say you retire or
yes,
you're going to take a year between high school and college or volunteer organizations, opportunities?
Yeah, they do get paid,
Okay.
but it's very. I mean, it's just survival.
Well, right, but I mean, is that another way we can get involved?
Yes, absolutely, and it's and it's safe. It's safe to do because it's as safe as it can be in a war-torn country because many of these countries are war-torn, right? Sudan,
I don't think Sudan's on that.
aren't they? Okay, they were, but they're probably off now. That's great.
Yeah, my sister was in the Peace Corps in the country she went to, got taken off the Peace Corps. I mean, as politics change,
Sure.
countries move off and on various levels.
Wow. Yeah. So, yes, and there are stories on YouTube and other places of people who, especially young people, who decide to take a year and do something like this, because it's got to be a rewarding thing to do. So, I hope that you here at Prince of Peace feel rewarded by what we do, and we can always do more, of course. So the next time you see towels for $3, pick them up. The cheapest towels, by the way, are at Walmart right now, but Target also has a time when they're nice towels. They're a little better than these. These are Walmart towels. for $3. That's a pretty good price. You know, Marty is such a good person. She's such a good shopper. She finds laundry detergent at unbelievable prices. So you know, she would know where a lot of this stuff is.
But I will also put in a plug to be a mindful, shopper in terms of fair trade. and fair market.
Yes,
You know, and
yes.
just, you might pay a little bit more for a top.
Yeah.
From an employee that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Exactly, exactly. And of course, a lot of stuff is very inexpensive and they're good buys. Like this is $1.25 at the Dollar Tree, well, the $1.25 tree. There are 3 great rulers, and they're flexible ones. They really don't want to have the really wooden ones. They will take those, but these are, you know, they're nice flexible rulers. And sometimes at the $1.25 tree, you can get 2 scissors. Always blunt nosed and, you know, but then again, all of this stuff before school starts is when it is the best buy. So,
And another word to be a mindful.
yes,
It used to be that crayons, except for Crayola, had lead in them. I don't know if that's true anymore. But, read your labels when you buy things too. Crayola's always
yeah.
worth the extra money.
Crayon's a Hallmark company. I didn't know that. I just read that. So 100% renewable, we invest in 100% renewable energy from solar power for U.S. manufacturing, enough to make 3 billion crayons over 700 million and 700 million markers a year. There you go. So appreciate that. Thank you. Are you on board again? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Alex. The best. So thanks so much. And this is just one of the things that we support here at Prince of Peace and seem to be, you know, like we all support this in one way or another. So that's the good thing. Appreciate that. Any other questions or that I don't know?
Is there a certain weight batting that you guys?
We do what's called the charity batting. And if you go to a batting store, and we buy them by the rolls, when I go to St. Joe, there's Accomplished Quilting in St. Joe, and they give us it. And they've got our tax ID number and all of that stuff. So we do that. But we take, you know, some people have it laying around. They want this weight because there is some warmth to this, even though they're lightweight and we can mail them fairly inexpensively. You know, some of the other quilt battings are very expensive if they're wool or, you know.
Oh, that's another cost in the mail.
No, it does not. We don't. That's a gift. So every couple of years, I think we did it last year. We got over about $1,200 from the endowment committee.
Well, it still comes out of.
Our
Yeah,
funds,
it's still
yeah.
a cost.
But we don't have to. We don't have to do that.
I
But
mean, if we don't. We can.
that's how they do it. We help them. We help them. That's right. Maybe on treating those kids who have measles. Yeah. So, yeah. So it all works, doesn't it? It just all kind of works together. And that's the best. What is it? What is the new thing? God's work our hands until your love reaches every neighbor. That's a new logo. Maybe that should be our new moniker for social concerns. So thanks so much. I appreciate it. I want to talk to Libby and Mary if you want to be on a little powwow here. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Right on those roads.